Are you getting pressure from your CFO or board to justify the return on investment that you've made in AI? Well, in this video, I'll give you a quick and easy way to capture and communicate that value to all those important stakeholders. Hi everyone, if you're new here, my name is Paul Woods, and this channel is all about exploring how strategy, leadership, organizational design all come together to help you achieve ROI with AI. And today we're going to explore how we can communicate the value of AI to the stakeholders that matter. So you might be in the business case phase of your AI deployment. You might be halfway through your project and people are asking questions, or you might be at the end of your project or starting your next project, and some of the questions are starting to come up, like we're spending a lot of money on AI, we're spending a lot of money on platforms, spending a lot of money on people to deploy this. Are we starting to see the return that we expected on AI? Now, caveat, I don't think many people actually set the expectations up front in terms of what they're expecting to get out of AI, apart from bigger, better, faster, stronger, cheaper, very high level measures of success. So in this video, what I want to explore is a equally high level way to communicate value back in those scenarios. Is this the best way to communicate ROI? I don't think so. I think there's a much better way of doing it, which I'll do in another video shortly. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to see the much more detailed, thorough way of doing this. But if you're looking for a quick, easy way to capture and communicate value of AI, I think this is the best bang for buck in terms of effort and an outcome that you'll get along the way. First things first, let's talk about what is ROI and what do we mean by the word ROI? Because chances are in your organization, different stakeholders that you're working with will have different interpretations of what ROI actually means. For some, they'll think of it purely as a metric. So do we have a metric that clearly demonstrates that we're making progress in a certain area, and then we can justify that ROI is being achieved, return on investment is being achieved. For some, it's a process. Do we have an ROI process in place to help us capture and communicate the value that we're generating with this investment that we're making in AI? And then third, it could be a metaphor for value. So are we getting ROI? Can we just demonstrate or share that we're actually making some value out of this? So depending on who you're talking to, it could be your CEO is looking for a metaphor, like is this generating value? Is this taking us in the right direction? Your CFO might be looking for a metric to kind of really clearly, tangibly say, are we making progress? And then for your project team or your project steering committee, it could be, do we have a process in place to capture this value as well? So it's really important to think about what does ROI mean in your organization, and do you have a common language, a common understanding of what you're actually aiming for here when you first start this conversation. So now we have a clear understanding of ROI and what it means to different people. Let's look at a quick and easy way to communicate that value that kind of covers most of those stakeholder groups at one time. Now, full transparency, this is not the best way to capture and communicate ROI. I think there are more detailed, more sophisticated ways to do this, which will help you make much better informed decisions. But if you're looking for a way to quickly capture, quickly communicate, almost tick the box to demonstrate that you're generating ROI, think of this as the quick and easy way to do it. Would I do this every time? No, I think there's definitely value in going deeper and being more sophisticated in how we do this. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and I'll do a video on that deeper, more sophisticated ROI capture process in a later video. So how do we think about ROI when it comes to AI? What I'm going to do is put forward a simple 2x2 matrix, which yes, it's a 2x2 matrix, and there's varying degrees of value that you get from 2x2 matrices because they're very high level. But again, this will give you, I guess, a common language you can use within your organization to start thinking about this. Is it the best way to do it? No. Is it the quickest way to do it? Probably. So we've got two axes in this matrix. The first one is the idea of tangible value versus intangible value. And the tangible value is the stuff that's really easy to measure. So did we reduce our licensing costs in a certain area of the IT budget? Therefore, we can definitely point to a reduction in cost, which is a tangible thing that we can measure. Intangible, on the other side, would be, have we strategically positioned ourselves to be more innovative into the future? And is that something that we can tangibly measure and tangibly record and have a metric around? It's a little bit more difficult to do, right? So I think when you think about the value of ROI, there's definitely a spectrum that we need to think about. The tangible things that we can measure and the intangible things that we can't necessarily measure or they're very hard to measure, or we have to use indirect measures to get to, but we know that it will have a positive impact on our business in some way in the future as well. So that's the first axis, is tangible to intangible. And then the second axis is internal versus external value. So does this drive value internally in our business in terms of our operations and our efficiency and the way that we do things? Does this drive value externally for our suppliers, our customers, our stakeholders that we have to work with in the operating environment that we operate our business in? So internal and external value as well. So we have a 2x2 matrix: tangible, intangible, internal, external. And what that gives us is 4 quadrants or 4 categories of value or categories of return on investment that we can start to explore and kind of frame up a bigger picture of what the actual return on investment is in our AI projects. When we think about tangible versus intangible, the best metaphor I can think of that helps with understanding this concept is an iceberg. If you think about an iceberg, you have the bit of the iceberg that's above the water. That's very easy for us to see and observe and measure, and kind of see the size of it there. Then you have a whole lot of the iceberg that's under the water, which is far more difficult for us to observe, far more difficult for us to measure, but it's a bit under the water, that intangible stuff that really impacts the stability of the iceberg and the size of the iceberg as well. So it's really important to think about. We want tangible benefits and tangible outcomes, but we also want these intangible outcomes that help really hold our organization together or help us differentiate in the market or help us do these other things that contribute to helping us achieve amazing things as an organization and amazing things for our customers as well. So let's dive into the 4 quadrants. On the tangible internal quadrant, it's all about saving money. How are we reducing the cost of our processes? How are we reducing the cost of our other investments that we're making or other operational expenditure that we have in our business? How are we using this AI tool to reduce the cost of doing business? So let's move across to tangible but external value. And this is not about how do we reduce costs or save money in our business or save time in our business. It's more about how do we create new value. How are we creating new value for our clients, for our suppliers, for our stakeholders in the external community in which we operate in. And this could be to brought a new product to market or have a new offering in market that we can clearly see we're selling and it's driven through the application of AI to get there. Then that's a great way to kind of capture that value there as well. So it's not just about saving money, which we're doing on the tangible internal quadrant. This is about how we're creating new value for ourselves, new value for our clients, in a kind of external facing part of our business. If we go down to the bottom of the model now, let's go to internal intangible. And this is really about improving our employee experience and creating a great place to work. And the way that we kind of talk about the value we're generating here is like, do we have better data to make more informed decisions? Are we making faster decisions? How are we using this to improve the culture of our organization or using it to improve the quality of the work that we're doing or reducing the overhead on the processes that we're doing that helps us retain more staff and have happier staff and more energized staff to deliver better services and better outcomes to our clients. In this quadrant, what we want to do is pick 1 or 2 concepts or ideas that clearly demonstrate that we're driving towards the strategic outcomes we're trying to achieve as an organization and tie how this AI project or these AI initiatives are helping to support those things. A more engaged, more happy workforce is a really great thing for most organizations, if not all organizations. And if we're using AI to reduce the burden of reporting, for example, that people have to do in their jobs, then this is going to have a significant impact on employee satisfaction. Is it something we can directly measure as an impact of the AI project? Not necessarily. Does it contribute as a second order effect or a third order effect to other things in the business? Absolutely. So you want to try to draw that connection there as well. And last but not least, we go into the external intangible quadrant. This is all about strategic differentiation. How are we differentiating our organization through the application of AI in this project to help us achieve this outcome? And we can think about this a few different ways. Is it we are saying that we do AI, therefore that gives us a competitive advantage in the marketplace? Some would say yes in some cases. I think that's going to diminish very quickly over time as AI commoditizes and everyone has access to it. But more importantly, is it allowing us to purposefully, strategically differentiate our organization and the way that we serve our customers because of our application of AI in our customer-facing processes and things like that. In this case here, it could be we are putting a line in the sand and saying that we are the best customer service orientated business in our industry, and we are using AI to provide a really amazing experience that not only gives people fast responses, but it amplifies the impact of our customer service agents as well, which means they can deliver even better customer service. Can you measure that directly? Kind of, but it's difficult to measure. But we know that if we combine some of those second order measures that we could have in this place, like call resolution times or customer satisfaction and things like that, we know that they're contributing to that differentiation that we have in the marketplace around being that customer service orientated, that number one customer service organization in our industry. So with this, the idea behind the quadrants and the 2x2 is really to give you 4 different ways you can think about ROI, 4 different ways you can think about capturing and communicating that value. Is this the best way to do it? Absolutely not. This is the quick and easy and quick and dirty way of kind of capturing and communicating ROI. So if you're in a context where you need to tick the box and say, hey, we've generated value to at least communicate something to your CFO, something to your board, this is a quick way to do it without much effort. If you want to do this properly though, there's a far more sophisticated way to do this. Will get you far better outcomes and give you far better information to guide your processes and guide your projects moving forward in the AI space. And I'm going to do a video on that in the next couple of weeks, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and see how we go. So with that, best of luck in capturing and communicating ROI. My question for you, get down into the comments and share how the specific metrics that you're using in these different categories help communicate value. We'd love to learn more about how you're applying it and how you see that value being generated in your business. If you like this content, make sure you like it, subscribe, share it with your colleagues that are struggling with this idea of how to capture ROI. And stay tuned for that deep dive into doing detailed ROI analysis on AI, which is coming shortly. See you next time.